out the LeBron, Coach Harbaugh, all that stuff.
Yo, what's up, guys? Y'all know what it is. It is that time to go crazy with two of your favorites, the Misfits, man. Your boy Mykell Mathieu here with my guy Eric Lambkins II. Lam, what's the deal, bro?
What's up? What's up? What's up? You know who it is. What's up, bro? It's your guy Elam, other half of the Misfits. Here with my guy Mykell. This is the tightest tag team tandem this side of the galaxy. Your one-stop shop for everything LA sports culture. Yo, we plugged in. Mykell, what we got on the lineup for today?
Hey, we got a lot, man. A lot going on in LA. Of course, the Lakers and Clippers, they're rounding into shape, trying to get ready for a run to the playoffs. We got to talk about women's hoop. You know, we show love all the way around, baby. UCLA, USC, they're playing in the tourney, so we're going to talk about UCLA in a tough one right now with Richmond. We got to talk about the Clippers. That's right. We talk Clippers here too, Elam. I see the sad face. We got to show love. They doing some good things in the Intuit Dome. Got a great one going on tonight with OKC. Rams, Chargers. We're going to talk them, what they've been doing in free agency as we get closer and closer to the NFL draft. We're going to talk culture, entertainment. Cardi album is out. Rolling Loud was last week. 10 years since To Pimp a Butterfly. We got to talk Big U. We got a lot to talk about, man. It's going to be so much fun tonight. So y'all tuning in to a great one. So Elam, we're going to have to start with Tinseltown. We got to start with the Lake Show. And everything was looking good, you know.
It was all good just a week ago.
Just a week ago. And I was expecting to do my dance, and they lose by 31 to the Chicago Bulls. And I had to make sure, like, did they sub out MJ, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman? Like, what the hell is going on? What a crazy loss.
You know what's crazy is I saw your name on the wall. I'm like, oh, Kels is in the building today because I was taking pictures and I didn't see you show up. I was just like, he must
somebody told me what was yes. I kind of somebody told me hey, it might get ugly tonight. LeBron coming back. So I was like, hey, let me take a step back and just let it happen.
Man, you know what's crazy is that there was so much buzz in the arena, man. Everybody was like, oh, Bron is back. You know, Luka, AR, Rui came back. So there was, a ton of anticipation that the Lakers were just going to pick up where they fell off, in January, February. And that was not the case. LeBron looked terrible. Just overall, man, the team looked bad. Every time they started to make a run, I remember after the half, Chicago went on a little run. The Lakers were down by 14. They kept calling back. Getting it within like 2 or 4, and then they just start turning the ball over. It was like 21 turnovers, I think they had, and it was just it was a complete travesty, man. Like that was a very winnable game. Your superstar on the Bulls is Kobe White, and there, it was just Kevin Herter. He went off. I want to say the Bulls had like 4 or 5 people in double figures, man.
Josh Giddey went crazy, 15 points, 17.
Josh Giddey went off, man.
Josh Giddey went crazy. It was just one of those games because it was crazy for me. Like the Lakers have been playing so well. The snow time Lakers, man, they mean business.
It's the lake snow, man. It's the lake
snow. I like snow time. Time. Because everybody has fun in the snow, especially these NFL athletes. But yeah. No, I know. But the NFL, they dive a little bit more into the snow, you know. You know what I'm talking about.
I got you.
But, the Lakers, they had looked so well. It was like it was all meshing together. And then you have this performance, and it's like things be weird like that in the NBA. Like you will see a team like the Nuggets beat the Warriors on the road with no Jokic and Jamal Murray and things like that. And then this happens to the Lakers. So it was just one of those games. Luka, for anybody that has any doubts out there, this is Luka Doncic's team. Like he is the guy. Everything is flowing through him, and he is playing great basketball. Austin Reeves, everybody talking about the best number 3. Hell, he might be number 2. You know what I'm saying? Especially if Bron may have issues with the groin and everything. Bron has 17 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds. It just looked really tough. And this is one of these games that just kind of has me a little nervous about this team, is that, can they get the stops when they really need it? And when the offense gets a little muggy, will LeBron try to do a little bit more than he needs to do and it kind of throw off some of the flow? Did you see some of that last night?
I don't think it's muggy at all. I think the entire defense, as much as everybody tries to give LeBron credit for the defense, man, that entire defense hinges upon Jackson Hayes, and he didn't have a great game. I'm not worried about this team. For the past like 4 or 5 years, LeBron James has taken a short sabbatical, on average about 2 weeks. To recharge, to rejuvenate, to step into a proverbial hydrobaric chamber to rejuice, more say. Rejuvenate. And he just took 2 weeks off. So LeBron is geared up for the playoffs, man. I'm not worried about it. Was able to tap in with Austin. At the end of the game, he was just saying, man, we just got to refocus. We didn't come out focused today. He was like, it's nothing that a plane ride and, some film study won't solve. So shout out to my guy, AR. They're not worried, man. And I think, with this team, you have a ton of vets. I just got to see Jackson Hayes just really just show up here on out. The team play with they just essentially play listless. They play with no life. They play with no further. Do I anticipate them doing that 3 games in the 7-game series, or 4 games in the 7-game series? Not at all. One night, it's an off night, but we'll see how this road trip, how they fare.
Yeah, and speaking of the road trip, it starts tomorrow. They go to Orlando, which is going to be tough with what's his name, Paulo over there, Banchero. They got the pace. They got to go to Indiana. They got to see Chicago again, and then at Memphis, which is going to be a good test. But this is going to be big and key, because I think for the Lakers to make any noise, they need to try to get to that 2nd seed. Like, you don't want to have to deal with OKC in the 2nd round. As the 4th seed, you may have to deal with a Warriors or, hell, maybe a Clippers who has been playing some amazing basketball.
I'm not worried about the Clippers. Everybody keeps talking about the Clippers. I'm not worried about the Clippers.
I'm telling you, we're going to talk about them, but they're doing a lot of good things. And how Zubac is playing for them, he can be tough. They lost tonight, ended their 5-game winning streak, but we're going to get to that. But the Lakers just have to take care of business when it comes to the seeding, because I think it's finally important. It seems like in the NBA for years it's been mostly just about resting guys and being healthy. So teams is like they didn't care if they were the 7 or 8 seed. But I think this year for the Lakers team, you want to try to have as easy a road as you can possibly get, because
it's the West.
Conference is crazy.
It's an easy road. It's the West. There's no such thing as an easy road.
No, but I think so, because some of these teams are young, right? If you I'm looking at the standings right now. Right now, the Lakers are 4. They'll be matching up against Memphis, which I think is not bad. I think
series.
They're going to beat Memphis if they play them. But you don't want to have to see Denver or Golden State in the 1st round.
I'm not
right now.
With Luka on this team, with Luka, AR, and Bron, that's a winnable series. I'm not worried about it. That's a winnable series.
Yeah, but Jokic versus Jackson Hayes has given me nightmares.
Thinking about Jokic is going to be Jokic. That's like trying to say, hey, we're going to stop Luka. You're not going to stop Luka. You're not going to stop LeBron. You're not. And Austin Reeves is playing to the point to where it's like, you're not going to stop Austin Reeves. It's the ancillary pieces. Now, when Denver just came to LA, Aaron Gordon went off. That's what I'm concerned with. Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about. Like, how do you stop the second and tertiary players from having, a big game, a big series? Jokic is Jokic. Joker can go for 50. Joker can go for 60. Like, we know that. So I'm not shocked if he's able to carry, Denver and make it competitive. But I just think with this, the way the team has played since, right before the All-Star break, since January, really, defensively, it's been a pretty stout team, man.
No, yeah, and I think they can keep it up. I'm hopeful that they can keep it up on the defensive end because it's so crazy because you have three guys that are like nearly minus defenders, like in Luka, LeBron, and I guess AR is solid. But with Luka and LeBron, but it's just showing the team unity on the defensive end is really helping them. And like you said, they got Luka, they got LeBron, AR as your third piece is some great weapons. But it's going to be those others. Shaq always talks about those others that has to step up and help them. Rui is going to be huge. Hell, Bronny James might actually. No, I'm joking.
Whoa. Too much dip on your chip. Too much dip on your chip.
I'm joking about Bronny James. But it's that time. We might as well talk about it. Bronny James with the Los Angeles Lakers coming off his biggest performance of his career, scoring 17 points. On the screen, you see forward thinking. This is thinking, in the future. Elam, could Bronny possibly be a player that can help the Lakers in the next maybe year or two?
My mama told me if I don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing.
But hey, that's not why we're here. We're here to say nice and mean things.
Listen, there's still more I gotta see. There's still more I gotta see. In the G League, dude gets off. You know what I'm saying? It's undeniable. The dude gets off in the G League. It's just something about playing in front of people. You know what I'm saying? Those bright lights at Staples. I refuse to call it crypto.com, but it's just something about playing there on that big stage that he just doesn't seem comfortable yet. His confidence, I don't know the kid personally, so I can't say that he's not confident. But the dude has to manage unrealistic expectations. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a year removed from cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
He's being compared to his dad. The media landscape is talking about nepotism and how him being drafted 55, it was unwarranted, and the Lakers could have utilized the better pick. For me, when I look at Bronny, I see an understanding of the game. He understands the game. He understands how to play.
And he's an athlete, so that helps him a lot.
He's just undersized, and like I just don't see any elite skills. That's not to say that he can't develop into a perennial knockdown defender. I mean, a 3-point shooter. It's not to say he can't develop as a defender, but just like right now, today, I don't see it. His ball handling skills aren't elite. His passing isn't elite. He doesn't do anything elite. But he's a good kid. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, like, I'm willing to allow him time to develop and to give him a chance. I just kind of feel like he's having to manage a lot of things that's just not necessarily fair to him.
And with Bronny, we're in an era, right? He's living in an era that's really tough to where that the stand culture is so real, and the stand culture enhances somebody that places expectations on them that they may not actually be able to reach up to, whether they're entertainers, musicians, or athletes. Hell, even a reporter can be so gassed up that it makes people want to tear them apart. And I think that's what happens when it comes to Bronny, is that he gets so much love from people out there. Hell, his dad is a part of the problem. Last season, his dad was on there like, yo.
He had Twitter fingers.
Yeah, he Twitter fingers said, my son is better than some of these dudes right now. So people are going to be like, oh, yeah, especially those people who are already looking at him as like, oh, I'm on everything you do because I don't think you to go. I think you help kind of manufacture a lot of these stuff for your career and brand. So it brings that upon Bronny. And then, like I said, the gassing up of stuff. Bro has 17 points in a 30-point loss. And everybody are screaming like he's ready to be the next backup point guard for the following week. Like, people are just putting so much on him, and they're making all his expectations become unrealistic.
Man, and it's funny because it's the Church of Bron, bro. Like, I have a homie who sent me clips of Bronny, making shots. Cause I send stuff in this. You know me, I'm a big troll.
No, yeah.
Bronny had a clip where he tried to shoot like a sweeping hook shot and missed terribly. So I sent it to him. And like, my boy was just like, oh, Bronny scored 17. I'm like, bro, in a 30-point loss, bro. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, it's so comical to me when we're at games and I hear the crowd like shouting and clamoring for Bronny. I'm like, he's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
like,
what is going on? And I think that just makes the haters, because nowadays it's three types of fans. It's haters, fans, and stands, right? The haters are really going to attack you when you do something like that.
And you don't got to give them an excuse. They're going to find a reason to hate.
Yeah, they're going to find a reason. And it was so easy to go and look and be like, bro, they lost by 30 points. Like he scored like 5 points in the fourth quarter when they were already, like, the game was over. So it's like those are empty stats, right? And, we already in the era that people want to.
Where have we heard? Which player do we talk about all the time having a whole bunch of empty stats?
Hey, I didn't want to say it, but he plays for the Lakers, and people are just so caught up in the numbers. I had them stumped at one of the Clipper games, because I'm like, hey, there's one point guard in the history of the NBA who has averaged 20 and 8 for 8 straight seasons, and no one can figure it out. And it blew their mind once they found out. I said, and that tells you right there alone that these empty stats don't really hit like that when it doesn't lead to winning. And the guy who did that, shout out to my guy, actually, Stephon Marbury, who averaged the only point guard, I think, ever to average 20 and 8 for 8 straight seasons, 8 or 9 straight seasons. And nobody really cares because winning wasn't involved. But in today's era, people don't look at that. So Bronny has 17 points. It's like, we told y'all he did this. I'm like, bro, if that was any other 50th pick and they're losing by 30, they could have scored 25. Nobody would care. And I think that's the gift and the curse of being Bronny James, is that every little thing you do, it gets gassed up. So every bad thing you do, it will come raining down on you.
We live in the era of participation trophies, man. We celebrate participation, and I hate to do it, man, but like when I hear people say, oh, Bron made it to 10 finals, I'm like, bro,
How lost. Did you win?
you lost 6. Like, I'm not celebrating just making it. If I go to work every day and I'm not accomplishing anything, if I don't write, if I don't do what I'm there to do, like, what are we celebrating?
Yeah,
I work 4 days out of 10. Like, you're not going to have a job. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's comical to me, again, to see people glaze. You know what I'm saying? You were talking about
that's
haters,
the word,
fans, but glazers, man, it's like they can do no wrong. It's everything you do. Like, I know you've been peeping on Instagram and Twitter, like the songs people are making. You know what I'm saying? About
LeBron. My gosh.
I'm like, what? Like, what world are we living in? What are we doing?
What are we doing? Like, let these guys play and let them play till the end of the year, because I know you fans out there who says, oh, it's not all about winning. Damn it, that's the Los Angeles Lakers. It's only about winning. And if we have guys that are all NBA guys, we only care about the finishing result. So we don't care. LeBron can come out and average 48 and 8. Same thing for Luka, right? Same thing for Luka. Nobody's going to care in LA because we want to win rings. Damn it, we got to catch Boston. Boston just won a championship.
Herm Edwards said it best. You play to win the game. Hello? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I'm not celebrating, oh, well, we competed. Oh, well, we participated. Oh, well, we played. At least we made it. And it's funny because, you a huge Chief fan. I'm a Niner fan. Mm-hmm. People always, y'all lost. And I can't say anything. Yeah. I'm not the type of person to say, well, at least we were in the Super Bowl.
Made it. Yeah, like, trash.
Like, no, bro, there is no consolation to come in second place. Like, that's a loss.
If I'm on that date and I just drop her off at the door. That's the far as I get. Guess what? I didn't win, bro.
I didn't win.
I didn't win. And that's why the Bronny stuff is crazy, because we can't gas up performances that don't lead to wins. At the end of the day, as much as everybody want to make sports about numbers and things like that, you play to win games. And until you can add to winning, I can't really give a type of rating on Bronny, because he hasn't been in a situation to be productive when it comes to the Lakers winning games. So yeah, we may have been a little wrong about Bronny, but because I thought he was going to struggle in the G League as well, and he's proven me wrong. But when it comes to being an NBA player, he still hasn't proven enough to me, because anybody can.
In between. He's somewhere. He's like a tweener. I don't see him right as an NBA player, but he's clearly he's a lot better than a lot of G League players.
Yeah, facts.
And I guess those in between are those guys at the end of the bench. You know what I'm saying? Cats on two ways. Like, hey, we got an injury. We need to throw you in the game. We get blown out by like 35 points. Go get you some minutes. Maybe that's Bronny's career. And if so, cool. You know what I'm saying? He's accomplished his dream. He's achieved his dream. Bronny to me is like a student that checked in, halfway throughout the course of the semester, and you're told you got to evaluate him. It's like, there isn't enough data. There aren't enough, you know what I'm saying, data points on him for me to give, an accurate depiction, an accurate assessment, you know what I'm saying, of his strengths and weaknesses. So, it's again incomplete, man.
Only time will tell, but hopefully when he gets a chance, he continue to play well, because you want to see a kid like that achieve and do well. So let's switch gears. Let's hop off of the LA train and let's hop on the ship with the Los Angeles Clippers, as they have been playing some great basketball before losing a very close, tight game to the OK City Thunder tonight. They had won 5 straight games. They had won 8 straight home games. Now with this loss, they sit at 40-31, but they're finally healthy, right? It's so crazy, because being there in the arena with them, the players are all healthy, but Coach Ty Lue's been out with a back injury. So
dealing with a bad back. I was talking to a Clipper fan, and they were telling me they think they're better off without Ty Lue. And I was
I'm like, y'all disrespectful. Like, B. Shaw, dope, but like even B. Shaw says, we're texting. Coach Ty Lue is texting on the bench. We go on halftime. He's FaceTiming, so he's still locked into his team. But he was back tonight. As the team came up short against the Oklahoma City Thunder. But it was a fight, man. It was a 103-101 victory there at the Intuit Dome for the Clippers, who now also go on the road. But the key for them is they're finally healthy. Like, everybody's playing.
For now,
yeah. That's the only thing. One thing, I got a lot of love and respect for Stephen A. Smith. But for you just coming out and saying this injury is going to happen, I would never do that. As someone talking sports, maybe it can happen, but I always say I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt before it happens. And if this Clipper team can stay healthy like they are now, James Harden, of course, he was an all-star this year, playing great basketball, playmaking. He's been a little bit more efficient when it comes to his shooting. He's going to get to the line. He's been looking well. Kawhi Leonard has looked like Kawhi Leonard. Like, he has that bounce, crossover moves, step backs. Big time dunk.
Straightforward. 2-3 dribbles, pull up, give you a bucket.
And the guy that I've been most impressed with was Ivica Zubac, man. He is Mr. Double-Double for them, and he is a guy that is just playing some really solid basketball as a big. Like, they're actually playing through him. Like, they will go a full quarters. We're giving you the ball. If they don't double, punish guys. And he's doing exactly that. So I think that big three. And Norm Powell, who is coming back from injury after missing pretty much a month, he's starting to slowly try to get things back together.
That's the guy. That's the guy to me that is going to be, the critical piece. You know what I'm saying? Norman Powell. Okay. If Norman Powell is able to get to his pre-injury status where he was averaging 23, 24 points
24. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if Norm is able to give you that, and they're able to stay healthy, then yes, the Clippers are a legitimate team that I will watch out for. But come on, man, we already know playoff times, the Clippers are going to do what? They're going to clip. And it's inevitable. It's inevitable. We're talking about a team that's never made it to a finals.
I hate to say this, Elam, but they're like they're the Los Angeles Chargers of the. I always say this. They're the
Angels. They're the Angels of Los Angeles.
Nah, Angels got a championship, my boy. We don't do that. Angels got one, so we don't do that. But they are like the Chargers, so where until they do it, no one is going to believe. For me, I think with them healthy, it makes them one of the greatest dark horses in the playoffs because we know what Kawhi can do when he is Kawhi. With Zoo playing how he is, James Harden, Norman Powell. I didn't even Bogdanovich. Bogdanovich is doing some really good things for them. A couple games ago, he went 9 for 9, scoring 20 points. Ben Simmons, he can do some things just defensively and can be able to control some of the ball to give James Harden a rest. And speaking of defense, they're a team that's actually playing some really good defense when you got some negative defenders on that starting lineup and on that team. So they're a team that I don't think nobody like. People are like, damn, I hope we don't have to see them.
It's crazy because in the era where there's so much offensive proliferation.
Hey, hold up, Ben. You better stop being disrespectful to them Angels, man. That's a great ball team. That I hope that's if you're talking about them, but you got to eat.
You know, like in the era of all this offensive proliferation, man, I just kind of feel like, you know, the Clippers are the antithesis of what we're seeing. It's not to say that they can't score, but they really wear you down playing hard-nosed defense. You know what I'm saying? They are a defensive team, a very scrappy team, you know, and I love what I'm seeing out of Ben Simmons defensively. You know, Nico, I don't know why Nico's not getting any burn now, but Chris Dunn, Norm Powell, they even got Harden, you know, willing to stay in front of people.
Yeah.
You got Kawhi, Big Zoo. Like, I'm still upset that we gave Big Zoo away for, you know,
for scraps
for a 5 for 5 in a pack of Swisher Sweets, man.
Yeah, but, which is crazy.
This team is molded. You know, this is an East Side team. If the Lakers are a West Side, Beverly Hills West Side team, the Clippers literally they're like from Broadway on down. That's the Clippers, and I like how they play, man. I'm not a Clipper fan. I think it wouldn't be cool if the Clippers, you know, actually won one. Because I know some pretty annoying people that are Clipper fans, and I definitely don't want to hear their voice. But it's a good brand of basketball to watch. It's for me at least. I'm a defensive minded person. I love defense in any sport. So just like how they play, man, it's real gritty, and I love that.
Yeah, and you know, if you haven't been, the Intuit Dome, they go crazy at. They're 25 and they start off on 4. They're 25-7 there. So
has there been a sellout yet?
Hasn't been a sellout yet, but those numbers are a little deceiving because, like, I think it fits like 17,100 and something. They're always around like 16,000 and 400 and something when it comes to their numbers. If you're at their games, especially lately, Elam, like there's been a lot more. You like, oh wow, like it's getting close. But you know how LA is. We know LA only supports a true winner. So that's why people are fully committed. And you know, just a lot of Clipper fans. Like I talked to a lot of Clipper fans, and they're like, hey, man, a lot of us live in the like close to the downtown area. So playing that crypto made more sense and was better for us. Now we got to drive all the way to Inglewood. Maybe have to park a little far because we're not about to play that $70 to park next to the arena. So it's crazy. So it has people like, I don't know what to do with that, but they're playing some really good basketball. What's up, E?
Let me ask you this. I was talking to Jay Mart at the Laker game yesterday just about the food. And you already know how the food at Staples is. And I was telling him, I said, hands down, unequivocally, Intuit Dome has the best food. Not just for the media, but just throughout their entire building. If you had to rank of all the places you've been, top 3 places to eat as a media member, who do you pick?
Oh, I'll probably go Intuit number 2.
Okay.
Yeah, they probably be number 2 because they be having some heat and they hitting you day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? I done put on some pounds because of that, because they got some heat. But that San Francisco, when we went out there to the Niners game, that spread was next level. I'm like,
and see, I had Levi's as number 2. I had Levi's Stadium as number 2, yeah, and then SoFi number 3. Like Allegiant Stadium, terrible.
Oh yeah, SoFi 3. Yeah, Allegiant trash, just like their brand of football.
Yeah, I'm like, I might as well just pack a lunch. Give me some Crustables and some chocolate milk, and I'll be straight.
And I go get an In-N-Out burger and just bring it in before folks, they gonna give you some hot dogs and some BS stuff. Dodger Stadium be hidden sometime too, though. I ain't gonna cap.
Yeah, when Maria's there.
Shout out Maria.
Shout out to Maria.
For the free, baby. Like for the free, it's love and it's really good. But Intuit Dome, imagine this is year 1. They probably only going to get better. The food is going to be crazy.
And the thing that I love about Intuit, man, is that you could tell that the chef and the chefs, just put love and attention into their product, man. A lot of stuff, especially like over at Staples, man, it's like pre-packaged. They had like some steak yesterday. I was trying to tell J-Mart, I'm like, bro, stay away from it. It's rough. And he was like, nah, I'm gonna try it. And he trying to cut it with a plastic fork. I'm like, bro, I tried to tell you.
No, you cannot do it. But shout out to Intuit Dome, man. They doing their thing when it comes to the food. If you haven't been yet, pull up LA. Like it is a place you have to experience. Going to like the different rooms they got, the lounges like that they have there. It's just a great setup. And the Clippers are playing some good basketball, sitting at 40-31. They're now tied in 7th and 8th with the Timberwolves. They're only like a half game back from 6th, like 2.5 from like 5. Like they're not too far off, and they got some games that they can take care of. So let's see if they right the ship, because when they were struggling, they went 2-6 on the road. I was like, they are in trouble. But now they looking really good. But we're gonna keep it on the hardwood. We told y'all we were gonna talk about some lady hoops, and we have to talk about USC, UCLA. They're hosting home games here for the NCAA tournament. They're in Westwood, and then, of course, at the Galen Center at the University of South Central, what I like to call them. Elam, like 2 teams with real championship hopes. I know you were there with the girls of Southern Cal. What did you see from that team, and what gives you hope that they can make another Final Four run?
You know what? The first half against UNC Greensboro, USC didn't look at all like dominating. They didn't look ready. They just kind of looked like the Lakers, man, looked like they just showed up and was like, oh, they're going to lay down. But that second half, man, it was like Juju went off, Kiki went off. Talia Van Olsen, I think her last name is. She was dropping buckets. Like they played a more complete game in the second half. And shout out to Coach Lindsay, man. She made some great adjustments. Rhea Marshall, if you're just a stat watcher, you're not. Rhea Marshall's game is not going to like stand out to you. It's not going to jump out to you. But Rhea Marshall, man, she's such a presence in the middle. She's such a defensive stalwart, and even more so, she's the emotional leader. They're up 30 points in the fourth quarter, man, and she's still like she gets on her teammates' heads on the bench for not cheering for the people playing in the game. And I was like, that's a true leader right there, man. Thanks. But USC and UCLA are on a collision course. Listen to me. These two, like if these two meet in the Final Four, that's the national championship. The winner of that game is going to be the national champion. But USC has to see UConn in the Elite Eight. They're going to have to see UConn. UCLA women, are finally pulling away. In the second half. Lauren Betts, man, I think a lot of people have been asleep on her game.
Lauren is nice.
Is a true monster. And UCLA struggles when they, go away from her. It's not to say Kiki Rice and London Jones, can't hoop. but Lauren Betts, like she's their juju.
Mm-hmm. And it's just that time to be a star of stars. So just to keep it here, I'll talk UCLA first. I was able to check them out round one. Man, just Lauren Betts is key. Like you said, they have to play through her. They're up right now. She has 28 points, 14 rebounds. They actually won 84-67 is the final score. 30 points, 14 rebounds. She controls the paint. And I just like her because she has really soft hands. Like they drive and they find her and she catches the ball and she finishes. And, it's just it's a tough guard because of her size, because of her soft touch, because of the moves that she had. But this is a time that your star of stars have to be exactly that. And you need Kiki Rice. She had 23 and 7. Just like USC, tonight they started slow. They figured like, hey, we should smack them up. And Richmond came out and fought. But I always say it in any sport. You go into halftime, you be like, what are we doing? Let's go smack this team up. And it happened tonight. Third quarter, they outscored Richmond 29-7 to take the game over. So, like, UCLA is going to be tough because they have Betts who protects the rim. So she's going to have to be great. But Kiki and Lauren has to step up and be consistent. Even Jaquez there, she was 1 for 10 tonight. She has to knock down these open shots because it opens it up more for Lawrence and for Lauren, and that's their advantage. And then with USC, defensively, I really like what they did. That UNC Greensboro only made 7 baskets, bro. Like that is crazy.
Bro, listen.
They only scored 7 baskets.
It was some stretches. It was some periods of that game where I was just like, man, it's kind of hard to watch.
Man.
I mean, you had people just literally just throwing up hopes and prayers, and I was just like this. And it was both teams. You know what I'm saying?
It got tough.
I could jump on nobody, but it was just it was bad, man. It was some bad basketball in the first half. But I kind of felt like in order for UNC Greensboro, to be competitive, that's what they had to do. They had to muck it up, get some people in foul trouble. And it almost worked. It worked for, about 2 quarters. And then Juju was just like, all right, let me stop playing with y'all. And
the same thing I feel for UCLA is I know that Lauren Betts is going to show up. I'm hopeful that Kiki will, but it's going to be those other players because Juju is going to show up. Even if she got to shoot 9 for 40, she's going to try to do everything. She's going to try to do everything she can to will that team to victory. But you need the others to help step up and make some shots because against a UConn, they're going to do their best to make it as tough for Juju, and it's going to be the other players that needs to step up. I saw them earlier in the year when they lost to Notre Dame, and things didn't happen for them because nobody else stepped up. They didn't have Kennedy that game, so you hope that Kennedy, who has had a solid year as a true freshman, that she can, can have some moments in this tournament because she's going to be needed. Kiki is going to be needed to play well if they want to make it back and possibly bring home a national championship because everybody is gunning for Juju. They're going to try to make it as tough as possible. Defense carries over, so if they can play defense like this tomorrow night, they should take care of business and some games going forward. But eventually, offensive players are going to have to help Juju, and we're going to have to see if they can do it.
Yeah, and for the Bruins, I'm looking at, Janiah Barker, JB. She's their Energizer Bunny. She's their Rhea Marshall. She's got to show up. You already mentioned, Gabby, shot 1 for 10 today. Like UCLA, as they progress throughout the tournament, Gabby, London is another one who shot.
London is key.
2 for 8 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3. Like they got to knock down shots. Like, if UCLA wins, it's because London Jones, Gabby Jaquez, Janiah Barker, like they stepped up. And they have a young freshman, Angela Dugalich, man, that in the beginning part of the season when Kiki was out, like Angela was going off. Like if Angela can, just be consistent. And I know Coach Corey Close, is going to harp on consistency. But
Yep.
like if those three players are able just to consistently give you 10, 12 points a game, like UCLA is going to run away with the Natty.
Yeah, and they got some good basketball ahead. Both teams were able to figure it out in the second half, and sometimes that happens in the guy side and ladies side is that these teams start slow that first game because they kind of like who we playing. Southern like they known for what?
That's a dub.
For,
That's easy.
yeah,
That's
that's a dub. Like they known for their band, not for playing no ladies basketball, and then they come out a little slow, but it's getting closer. UCLA has got themselves into the Sweet 16. USC is looking to do it tomorrow, so it's going to be fun. But speaking of Juju, that superstar that she is, she got caught in a viral moment. For you guys who don't know and didn't see on Twitter or Instagram or wherever you look at social media, there was a special guest there at the game checking out the lady hoops yesterday. Jaden Daniels, the rookie of the year for the Washington Commanders, was there in the building, but he wasn't by himself.
He was with his mama.
But he was sitting next to Juju, and it looked like they were having a healthy conversation. She's a nice young lady. She was smiling. Hey, I'd have said some jokes to Juju and got some giggles out of her, but I've never seen her smile this big. And it looked like a cool time, like they was vibing until the next time you saw him again. And it was Jaden Daniels
and Miles right in the middle. She was like, let's watch this game.
Yeah, we focusing on this. And that was just a hilarious moment. So I want to talk about this a little bit because, as a parent, right, you have kids and how, like, when you come to that situation, you want to try to keep them focused. And, that's her baby that, he made it to the league. He's that guy. He's a big name, Heisman winner, rookie of the year, should have a very long NFL career, brand deals, all of that stuff. It's her golden goose pretty much. And she wants to make sure she's protected. He's protected. She's already came out and said it in, interviews and different things you see across social media where she's like, hey, I'm making sure he's focused on what he needs to do. But is there a point in time that, like, this is a grown man, you know what I'm saying? Like, let him figure out some things because Juju ain't about Juju is Juju. She's a superstar in her own right.
And that's the thing. That's where I'm like, as a parent, you never gonna stop being a parent. Once you see them birthed into this world, it's like, oh wow, I'm responsible for this person until I draw my last breath. But in the same token, and I think it's probably different because I'm a father. It's like I have poured in so much. I've instilled values. I've, talked to them, religiously about responsibility and, pitfalls in life. And, I'm the type of just dad where I open my life up. I've done this, I've accomplished this, I've had these failures. And so I think as a parent, you want to be honest, you want to protect your child, but it comes a point in time, man, where you are a helicopter, you hovering over there, and it's like, it's Juju Watkins, man. Like, yeah, she from Watts, and Watts oftentimes gets a black eye for, the city. But there's a lot of good stuff, a lot of good people that come, what I'm saying, out of Watts. And Juju Watkins, man, like all that she's been able to accomplish in the mass, it's not like she don't have her own bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I said this jokingly with a homie yesterday. I was just like, if Jaden and Juju, got together, like if they had children, it would be an Olympian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Olympian, bro.
That's a Hall of Famer right there, in whatever sport they play. But like I could kind of see like Juju doing more like a Maya Moore. You know what I'm saying? She played in the Dub, 18 years. She solidifies her Hall of Fame career, and then she's like, "Hey, man, I want to have a family." Like Juju she has her head on straight, man. She's not a knucklehead. She's an introvert. You don't hear her name in the streets, bro. Like you don't hear her name in the streets at all. She's not outside. She's a good kid, man. And so, like Mama Daniels, I understand that's your son, but it's not too many Juju Watkins of the world.
That part. And I know you want to protect your baby, but if it's gonna happen with anybody, Juju might be the one that you want to make sure that he stay locked in with, because she's on a trajectory that's crazy for her career, just like Jaden Daniels. But it's just a funny moment because everybody out there like, yo, like Miles came back and said, no, focus on this game. This is what we here for. We ain't here for that. And Juju kind of was like stone facing after
You
cheating.
do have to
So
lock back in, but it's funny,
yeah,
man. I think with Mama Daniels, when somebody catches her attention, she'll back up a little bit. She'll back up
yeah,
a little bit.
she'll back up a little bit. So let's go from the hardwood to the gridiron, baby, because we're getting closer to the NFL draft next month there in Green Bay and the frozen tundra. Uh, Yeah, I'm cool on that. So they won't see me this year. Sorry, guys. But, the Rams and Chargers, they will be there with some draft picks ready to do some work. But they've been kind of willing and dealing, making some moves, trying to take another step. Two teams that made the NFL playoffs, and they're looking to take another step. But we're going to start with the Rams because they've done a little more. Devontae Adams, you lose Cooper Kupp. He goes to the Seahawks. But, man, I love the Devontae Adams pickup. I love what the Rams are doing, Elam. What's your thoughts on what the Rams have done this offseason so far?
Man, when you get Tay Adams in the building to replace Cooper Kupp to pair with Puka Nacua, man, it's problems. It's problems
Man.
that we had out there in Woodland Hills. Those dudes are not playing. That defense is gonna come back even more energized.
Yep.
They were able to glean a ton of experience as a young defense. Jay Verse, he's going to be in a defensive player of the year conversation. I anticipate him having 12, 13 sacks. Braden Fisk going to take a huge step forward, but you are able to retain Matthew Stafford. That was the big question. What's going to happen, with their signal caller under center? They get Matthew Stafford back. They told Cooper Kupp, like, hey, man, we're not going to keep you. That broke my heart. I was happy to see him go from the division because I was like, all right, cool. Now we just got to worry about Puka. But it's like, dang, bro, you don't even get a break. I didn't even get a week because it was like, here come Tay. Here come Tay.
Yeah.
It was like, and they made some other moves. They got another lineman. I think he's a center. To beef up the offensive line because that was something that that was an area that they struggled with. They re-signed my guy, Alaric Jackson, my guy AJ. Yep. So congrats to him for getting the bag. But you gotta love what, like, as a fan of the game, as a fan of football, you gotta love what Les Snead and Sean McVay were able to do this year. And then they still had a draft. I thought they were going to. I was more worried about Drake Greenlaw going to the Rams than anything. Out of any other team, I was like, I don't want to see Drake Greenlaw in blue and yellow. But, he ends up going to Denver. But expect the Rams to draft a linebacker in the first 3 rounds.
I agree. And I think that's all that they were missing, man. But I think with that, Devontae Adams coming in there is one of the best moves of the 2025 off season. You get a guy who was able to put together a 1,000-yard season after dealing with the mess that he dealt with last year. You put him with Puka. You got Tutu. Higbee should be back. Now he's going to be healthy. Whatever else pieces they add in, an improved offensive line. Matthew Stafford, who's going to be hungry, knowing that, hey, we were the closest to beating the Super Bowl champs. We were probably a pickup block and me finding the open tight end to going to the Super Bowl and hosting the NFC Championship game. So getting a guy like Devontae, who's at a point of his career, like, I just want to win. And you have him and Puka together, it is going to be dynamic because last year, as much as we love Cooper, which I want to have a quick discussion about him after this, Devontae takes them to another level after, because Cooper just didn't finish strong. He looked like a shell of himself. But now you have Davante Adams, who is hungry, who is back on the West Coast, who is going to be ready to try to win something. It just unleashes this offense. So once again, as long as health is there on their side, Kyron Williams, after the fumbles and stuff that he dealt with, yes, Palo Alto product. Shout out our guy Ben for Davante. But man, it's gonna be the second year of Blake Corum, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna get more touches and more looks. Like everything is falling into place for these Rams. The Niners are falling apart. You know what I'm saying?
They're falling apart, bro. They're
rebuilding, retooling.
Retooling.
Which, yeah, but the division is open. There's no Geno Smith there with the Seahawks. The Cardinals are the Cardinals. Yeah. So the Rams are in a great place to be like, hey, we're going to get a home game, possibly fight to get a bye. And then with these weapons and with a young defense that's growing year in, year out, we are going to have a chance. The Rams are going to be scary, man. I don't
have a doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind that the Rams win a division. Like, I would be shocked if the Rams don't win a division. I think this is the Rams division. They have like a 2-3 year window to go win another ring. You know what I'm saying?
Like, what does Chuck say? Guarantee. Pop putting it down now. Right now. NFC West champions.
Them signing like Poona Ford. That was another cat.
Yeah, Poona from the Chargers.
The D tackle. Like, one of the problems the Rams had was literally stopping the run. Mm-hmm. And so you go sign Poona Ford. You get Tay Adams, pair him with Puka Nacua. Like, they're offensively, they're going to be there. They keep Tutu Atwell, a burner. They let Marcus Robinson go. He signs in the division. You know what I'm saying, with the Niners. The Niners are going to be. They're going to have like some rough patches. I think the Niners are like a 10-11 win team. I think they're a wild card team. Like, I don't. And yes,
the who?
The 49ers.
Bro,
they have a fourth place schedule. Yeah,
but y'all got a fourth place team.
No, they don't. I can tell you don't know ball. It's all right.
But hey, so just so we don't want to talk about the Niners. They'll figure something out. Hopefully.
But what I was saying is that
Eric fronting right now.
Defensively, I think the Rams are going to be a very fun and engaging team, man. Like, this team on paper, I think we saw it, man. 2 games they played Philadelphia. They were taking it to them. It was going down to the wire, and I'm not going to cast no aspersion. I'm not going to highlight and circle any one player. But if people just stayed in their defensive rushing lanes and handled their responsibility, the Rams could have won that game. That was a very winnable game. And even, at the end of the game, if you just block Jalen Carter, Matthew Stafford was going to make that play. You know what I'm saying? Nice. So the Rams are right there, man. The Rams are right there. And again, like I said, the Rams are going to win the NFC West. I got them as like a 2, maybe
guarantee. Put it down.
As a 2-3 seed in the NFC. And the Rams, they're going to be right there. They're going to be right there.
Hey, and before we move on to the Chargers, who've done some things, they're trying to keep themselves up. Cooper Kupp, is he a top 5 offensive weapon in Rams history?
And offensive, all right. So you got to put ED, Isaac
Bruce, Marshall
Faulk.
Would you go like who am I? Torrey Holt. I got T Holt up there. T Holt was crazy. And then you'll have like maybe Steven Jackson or
you can't put Steven Jackson because longevity.
Todd Gurley can't go in there.
Todd Gurley can't be up there.
So I guess Cooper's top 5.
Yeah,
okay.
Cool, top 5.
And this non-quarterback.
Yeah, he's top 5.
Okay, yeah, all right. So shout out to Coop. I hope he has great interview to always talk to. Great dude.
Real
very humble. Hope he has great success there in Seattle. But let's go to from the NFC West to the AFC West. The Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego, because they got more fans out there than LA. But they made some moves. You bring in Tyler Conklin from Minnesota and the Jets to give him a tight end because that was some of their issue. They lost Stone Smart, so they need him. They add some pieces in the O-line. You got Andre James center. You get Becton from the Eagles, which was, I was like, whoa, they were able to steal that. But then you lose Joey Bosa, which, they chose Khalil Mack. Bosa went to Buffalo. With the moves that they made, they add Deshaun Hand, a D tackle, to come help. Mike Williams has returned to give them another passing threat, with Lad McConkey, which I felt they needed to do more. What did you like about what the Chargers did?
You know what? I love the offensive line moves.
Yeah.
Them
They got Najee. I forgot to mention Najee Harris.
Them picking up Andre James, a center, to replace Bradley Bozeman, or not even to replace, but to compete with Bradley Bozeman and Mekhi Becton. Like, anybody who has watched Jim Harbaugh coach anywhere, he's gonna build a team through the trenches, and I absolutely love it. And so, did Mekhi Becton benefit from playing, in Philadelphia with, like, I won't be surprised if 3 of those dudes, Landon Dickerson, freaking Jordan Mailata, and Lane Johnson, end up making the Hall of Fame. Excuse me. Did he benefit from playing, with those 3 like stalwarts, or did
find out?
Click, and so we'll be able to see. They bring Mike Williams back. That was needed. Like, there were too many games where it was like, if they just would have had one other person out on the outside catching the ball, like, they could have did something. So they're bringing back Mike Williams. They, as you mentioned, they signed Najee Harris. They kept Khalil Mack. Joey Bosa, he's more or less just an edge guy in terms of, like, setting the edge against the run. Pass rush, you're not really getting too much out of him. But I like what San Diego did. But the AFC West, to me, it got better altogether. Like, the AFC West is now the best division in football.
I still like the NFC North. Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago, Minnesota. Definitely if Aaron Rodgers go there. So, but the Chargers are good.
Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn leaving, man. I don't think Detroit gonna be the same. They're not gonna look the same.
We'll see what they do. But for the Chargers, it comes down to Justin Herbert and them figuring that out. I like the Najee pickup. But will Najee be better than what Dobbins was at his peak? Like, Dobbins was going crazy last year. And, see what Najee can do when he come in there. He signed to a 1-year deal. The Chargers, they're going to feel they have an opportunity with Harbaugh as the head coach running the ship. So, they're going to have a chance. But the draft is coming up next month. I know they're getting ready for that, both Rams and Chargers.
I'm surprised you're not going.
It's good. Now, I'd rather go to a game in Lambeau. Where I'm going to go? I can't even go turn up out there. Where's we at? Detroit. We were in Kansas City. We were in Vegas. Like,
Detroit a wild place, man.
Yeah, Detroit a wild place. So, and you can't top that. So I'll wait till the following year. But both teams trying to make some moves. We got one last thing to keep it LA. Of course, we are the Misfits. Mykell, Mathieu with my guy E. Lamb. We thank you guys for tapping in with us and showing us love. My boy Ben said Wisconsin a wild place. Yeah,
hey, bro.
Listen,
you can go cow tipping. You can go to the lake. Listen, I know about Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's kind, man. Maybe I'll go get a cheese head to bring back to my bro or something, but I ain't trying to be out there. But yeah, we're the Misfits, man, and we got to talk about a staple here in Los Angeles that goes on multiple times a year. I was able to take part in a few years ago, the LA Marathon. It was back rolling. We had the first American to win the LA Marathon in 30 years, which is crazy. I was tripping out when I didn't see a name from Kenya. I was like, wait, what? What is going on? This guy must have cheated, man. Did he have a bike or a car drop him off and, he just finished up? But shout out to Rickman. Yeah, Matt Rickman for getting that win. But man, if you haven't done a marathon in life, it is
Don't
a
do it.
challenge, man.
Don't do it. Don't
He
do
said,
it.
"Don't do it." I enjoyed it, man. My experience doing it, it was yeah, you felt it the next week, but it was just a fun experience to get out there, meeting a bunch of different people out there running, and making it happen. At the end, it all fall into place for me because right when I got to the finish line, or close to it, I saw a group of Hispanic folks, and they threw some La Chona on, and that's my joint. And I was like, oh yeah, I got my little dance in, and then I hobbled across the finish line. But it's great memories, man. I like whenever the city does it, and I have people that's like a part of it, like taking place. I like to pull up and meet them at a spot, and show love because I know definitely now I know what type of work 26.2 miles is, but you can always do a half marathon, 13.1. But it's just how important is the LA Marathon to the city, Lamb? Because I think it's such a big thing.
Man, first and foremost, you got to be a complete idiot to want to run 26.2 miles.
Man.
Again, I was in the Army, bro, so we had to run every single day. As you progress, up the hierarchy in terms of, special forces and all that, the distances become longer and longer. And 26.2, like, bro, there's absolutely no way in the world that you're going to get me to run 26.2 miles again in my life. Absolutely not. Like, no way. I don't even want to run 5 miles anymore. But how important is it? The LA Marathon, man, is an opportunity for the entire city to come together, man. And you already, anybody who knows me knows exactly what I'm getting ready to say. There's only 3 things that bring people together across religion, culture, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, whatever, man. And it's food, music, and sports. And LA Marathon, I think, is the perfect example of the city and all different everything that makes LA conversion in one spot to celebrate and enjoy and participate in something together, man. It's not about, most of the people who run it, they know they're not gonna win. It's the stories that are out there, like people.
Ben said, "Run one
mile, Eric, and try not limping back." Listen, if I run 2 blocks, my ankle and my knee is gonna be shot, but
it's experience, bro.
Yeah, it's the stories, man. It's the people that are out there, cancer survivors who are like, man, I said if I was gonna beat cancer, I will run a marathon. It's like I saw a firefighter out there in full uniform running in an axe, running. I'm like, yo, this is nuts.
And then, like you said, it's like you experience a lot of LA because you start at Dodger Stadium, you go through downtown, Century City, and then you end up there at Santa Monica Beach. So you see a lot of that section of LA. And, it's dope. It's fun. It's a lot of people out there showing support. Then if you're out there running and you're a younger runner like myself when I did it, you get humbled because there were people like 70, 80 years old jogging by me and keeping stride while I'm breaking down. But it's a memory I'm always hold on to. And it was a dope thing. I may do it again, but I ain't gonna do 26.2.
So listen,
I'm gonna do it for the Misfits, man.
I think we should have a hood marathon, bro. We start at Dodger Stadium and just run through all the hoods, LA, and end,
we just gotta
have the ball.
We gotta have the. I guess you gotta have like certain colors. Like we ain't wearing this, we ain't wearing that, because we want to make sure everybody. Hey, we missing 20 runners. Where they at?
Everybody's in gray.
Everybody's in gray, black, and white, and we're keeping it at that. But shout out to all of those who ran in the LA Marathon. Dope experience. If you haven't went to check it out, like you can find so many spots where you could see the runners. It's music, it's food being given away. Like it's a whole different vibe. If you live in LA, especially you transplants who want to claim LA, you need to go pull up and see what the LA Marathon is about because it's really, really dope.
So look, I'll do this. If we get 1,000 subscribers by the next marathon, I'll run it.
Oh, the next marathon is before the year is up. Let me see when the next one is.
I'm talking next LA marathon. Next LA
Yeah,
marathon.
I know LA marathon. They do multiple of them. The one I ran was like in October. So we might get Elam because at least we'll go out there with Misfits gear on. We'll do a 13.1 because it ain't about time. It's about finishing, man. So yeah, we might have to make that happen. So say that one more time, E, so that we can get this stored.
We get 1,000 subscribers before the next LA marathon. I'ma do it.
Oh, y'all heard it. Elam, I'll do it with you, E. We'll both be out there. If y'all want to see the Misfits run, let's get to 1,000 subscribers. And that's gonna be the hashtag Misfits Run. So we can do it out there. We get Ben to run with us too. Shout out to producer Ben.
Look, if you a misfit, let's just put together a misfit team.
A whole
Everybody
team, let's do it.
out there and listen. You could dress up if you want to. You could wear a mask. We just gonna make the LA marathon an event. We gonna make it a spectacle. It's gonna be a whole bunch of people who don't look like runners, who don't fit in, and we gonna do it.
Let's
1,000.
So,
I need 1,000 subscribers.
1,000 subscribers. We have put together a group. We out there on the trail. So we got to keep it, keeping it sports. 1K subs, baby. I like that. The Misfits Run LA. We already running it. Y'all just don't know yet. But we gonna really actually get out there and run it with me and Elam. So to keep it moving, March Madness is going on, Elam. We talked about the ladies. We know what's going on there. South Carolina playing well. Of course, UConn. We talked about UCLA, USC. UCLA was actually in a tournament. They just got knocked off by Tennessee, so their season is done. But you're seeing some good basketball. We got the first true March Madness moment today. Maryland walks off with the game-winning bank shot to win a game. What's your thoughts so far on the first weekend of the NCAA tournament?
Man, all right. So the game that has stood out to me that left me shocked was that Arkansas St. John's game, man. St. John's the entire year had one of the best defenses that I have seen, and their Achilles heel was offense. They laid an absolute egg against Arkansas. And it's crazy to me because St. John's dude Luis Jr., I want to say he shot like 3 for 17. Like when I saw him gunning and shots weren't falling, and Scott, another dude, he shot like 1 for 10. I knew it was tough sledding, but that of everything that has transpired thus far in the tournament, that's the game. That's like the one moment where I'm just like, ooh, this is different. I'm trying to think, has there been any real upsets? No, not really. There are a few SEC teams that made it, to the tournament that I don't think necessarily were worth it. Like Missouri, like Drake beating Missouri. I know that was one.
And Drake actually got a win this year.
Your team, Kansas, got bounced. I didn't hear you say much of anything about that. But to me, there hasn't really been any real upsets. There's no Cinderella. Like this is like one of the years where there's not going to be a Cinderella.
McNeese was a team that you were like, oh, that was a nice win, 12 beating 5, but then they lose in the second round. I like what Florida is doing. They were able to squeak by UConn. That was a tough, gritty win for Florida. And then Duke has Cooper Flag, man. They have the guy with the name, and all eyes on Duke. They smacked Baylor up today, and I like what they do because defensively they play. I like what Proctor is doing, knocking down the 3-ball. He made 7 today. And then Cooper, 18, 6, and 9. He's a guy that is a complete weapon that is not only affecting the game offensively, but defensively as well. For this year, since there's not really big, I guess, Cinderellas, I would like to see a lot of the powerhouses make it for, just so we can see the best of the best basketball. So seeing Florida, seeing Duke, take care of business. Kentucky as well. I would like to continue to see more of that because, of course, we like the Cinderella stories, but then we also like seeing the big time school names go far and do something. And Calipari is like, hey, I'm at Arkansas. Don't forget, I just beat Patino. Maybe I can do something. So I don't think the stories are too big and crazy, but I think that this second weekend is going to be much better than the first.
You know what? I think this is going to be a year where I wouldn't be surprised if all 4 number ones made it, to the final. And that
Okay.
very rarely happens. I can't
Yeah.
really think of the last time. I want to say like maybe 2018, if I got that right, or 2016. I know it's happened like one time in the past like 20 years. But I won't be surprised if all 4 number ones make it. I think Florida is head and shoulders above everybody, even though they just squeaked by against UConn. Style make fights. But this is the first year that I didn't do a bracket, bro. And I think my days of doing brackets might be done because it's so much anxiety, you know what I'm saying? Like in watching the games, I'm sitting up here like, every 5 minutes checking my bracket. Like it's too much stress, man. And
I want to enjoy.
I just want to chill and enjoy it, bro. And for the first time, I'm really enjoying the tournament simply just for the aesthetic of basketball.
Facts. And it's for both sides, women and ladies. I just want to watch our ladies and men. I just want to watch. But we got some cool matchups coming up next week. Houston and Purdue, Kentucky, Tennessee, BYU, who's playing some good ball in Alabama, Duke, Arizona, after Arizona get a nice win over Oregon, Texas Tech versus Calipari's group in Arkansas, Florida, Maryland, Ole Miss, who's doing some good things as a 6th seed versus Michigan State, then Auburn, Michigan. But I'm with you. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 4 number ones. If there was one team in a bracket that I was like they could surprise, maybe will possibly be maybe Alabama, but then they got to beat Duke. So, and then on the women's side, it's always going to be the powerhouses. We can't wait to see that. But let's get away from sports because
my motto for this season or for this year's bracket, anybody but Duke, man. I can't stand to watch Duke win ever. So anybody but Duke.
Anybody but Duke. Okay. We got to give our love and respect and say rest in peace to the great George Foreman, man. He passed away a couple days ago, 76 years old. I just remember growing up, my pop's huge boxing fan, watching Ali, Frazier, and those guys, and he will always talk about Foreman. Like, man, when Foreman came on, we thought he was about to be unstoppable, and he was knocking people's heads off. And then, he got the big fight with Muhammad Ali that we're going to know forever. And, down goes Frazier, like the legendary call. And then, I remember him 50 years old. He was old, and I'm younger now, and I'm there with Pops watching, me and my bro watching him fight. And he knocks off Michael Moore and becomes the oldest heavyweight champion. And it was like, wow. And that's just boxing. And then it comes to when I need to cook me up something in college, I don't really got too much. That Foreman grill saving my life. What would you remember most about George Foreman, Eli?
Man, just like how you said, man, just being a shorty, and just hearing stories about George Foreman, man. Like I can remember in '88 vaguely, like it felt like he was fighting every month. You know what I'm saying? And in 1988, I want to say he fought 3 out of the 12 months in 1988. So I was just like, dang, this dude really liked to fight. You know what I'm saying?
In fact.
But he was a different type of champ, man. Just to know that he took a hiatus for 10 years. He retired in 1977, came back in 1987. Again, had that stretch in 1988. I think he went undefeated in all of 88. And then to get back to the point to where he faced Michael Moore, I think that was the guy he beat for the heavyweight champion at age 45. I remember that fight. I was just like, and Michael Moore was waxing him, dude. He was getting pummeled. And you know, George caught him with a straight right on the button. Michael Moore went straight back. And I just remember like being shocked, like, what?
This old man.
Yeah, this old man. And I just remember my pops telling me like George Foreman used to be a terror back in the day. Like I you know, watched documentaries and mini series on the Thriller in Manila, and you know, ESPN when they used to have like ESPN fights, like classic fights. Like I watched it, and just to see like him and Muhammad Ali just squaring off, and he was wearing Muhammad Ali's body out. And then he just like fell flat, man. So it was just, you know, George Foreman, man, it's kind of sad. I mean, anybody passing is, well, almost anybody. There are people who passed. I don't care. But
it was a rumble in the jungle with him. I couldn't even think of the name, but Rumble in the Jungle, where they were there in Africa.
Yeah. It was Kinshasa, right?
Yeah, because Thriller in Manila, that was Kinshasa, Zaire. Thriller Manila, that's Frazier.
Okay, yeah. My fault, y'all.
But now it's the Democratic Republic of Congo. That's what it is now.
But it pains me to see how George was never lauded. He was never really accepted by the culture. You know what I'm saying? He was really seen as like a Tom, like a sellout. And you know, from what I've heard, like, you know, people who have been in the fight circle have said is like that really pained him. You know what I'm saying? That really hurt him. And for me, at least, I can only speak for myself. That's why I'm very conscientious of the things that I say, you know, in public or in articles when I write. Because like words have impact, you know what I'm saying? And these people are human beings that have feelings and they hear it all. Bronny just wrote an article saying like, I hear it all, you know what I'm saying? And it does influence and impact them. So just to see like George Foreman, you know, have that period to where he was derided, you know what I'm saying, and really shunned, and then just reinvent himself, man.
That's what was impressive.
You know what I'm saying? As a pitch man selling George Foreman grills. And I'll never forget the commercial. I can't tell you what he was selling, but he had all his sons named George. You know what I'm saying? He had like 7 Georges. And, you know what I'm saying? I just thought that was like kind of comical, man. But excuse me. Rest in peace, George Foreman.
Yeah, rest in peace, George Foreman. He has the movie out, you know, that you can watch, you know, his legacy. It hit theaters. It came and went. But, you know, he has the film that you can go and check out. Rest in peace to the great George Foreman. So we got to talk, you know, word on the streets, man. We got to talk some little culture, entertainment a little bit. Just to run through it really quick. 10 years since the release of To Pimp a Butterfly, game changer for Kendrick Lamar. He came in with Good Kid, Mad City, came out with this. It was crazy. Where at some places it's rated out, some have it as the greatest hip hop album of all times. But it's crazy that those 10 years has passed. It gave us the hit record, King Kunta, These Walls, and then of course the groundbreaking All Right, which was a rally cry for, you know, people of color. For protesting. Man, how important and how impactful was that album for Kendrick Lamar, Elam?
Man, I can remember it dropping. I was working for the city of Santa Monica, and I just remember having my headphones in, and I was just like, man, this is art. And I'm literally like posted on the beach, like listening to it as the sun set. I was just like, dog, this is art. You know what I'm saying? It didn't feel like hip hop. It felt like art. And for me, it was a complete break from what Good Kid, Mad City was.
Yep.
Because I felt like it was far more introspective. You know what I'm saying? It was like a rally cry for just like Black culture, the Black community, for hip hop, and like how much a dollar costs, complexion. I think Black of the Berry. I want to say like those 3 songs in succession just hit me. I was just like, dog, like it was just thoughtful song after thoughtful song after thoughtful song, and then to finish it off with Mortal Man, I was just like, yo, this is like it's a complete album, bro. Like
it's a masterpiece.
It's so hard for me to listen to Kendrick and to see like somebody take such painstaking time and effort into developing a cohesive album. And then to hear, freaking Cardi, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, what is this, dude? Like, this is
it's a different
garbage.
Yeah, and shout out to Kendrick to Pimp a Butterfly, 10 years. If you haven't heard it and you say you're a hip hop fan, you are tripping. Go tap in with that. Like you said, Cardi dropped his album, I Am Music. I skimmed through it one time. We're not gonna give you a long take here. It's something that it's like rock meets hip hop. It's just something different. Maybe we're too old. I don't know.
It's like Jello ball with better production, bro. It's garbage.
Yeah, he got some hits on there, like the track with Weeknd, the track with Thug. He got 3 records with Kendrick on there. That's pretty cool. But other than that, it came and it went. Rolling Loud hit LA. It has come and gone. A festival that's real turned up for the youngins. I feel a lot of stuff is truly for the youngins. Cardi was there as a headline. ASAP Rocky was there at a headline. So a lot of stuff. LA was going crazy that one of those days because it was a Clippers game, Lakers game, LA Marathon.
It was at SoCal, right?
Yeah. Traffic was crazy. But we got to talk about some real stuff, man. UMG files new motion to dismiss Drake's lawsuit against them. They said they heard Euphoria and said we have our version of Euphoria, and 37 pages. They really went in to say, hey, you brought this upon yourself. You were in a rap battle that you lost. Now you want to come at us. Honestly, if you have any issue, come at Kendrick. But you can't even do that because you said some stuff that was very daunting and haunting about him, doing things to his lady and his kid not being his. It was a rap battle that you lost, and we got proof to tell you this stuff. You told this man to say this about liking young girls, and now he weaponized it, and you want to cry about it, and all his fans want to say he's doing it for the industry, he's doing it for the culture of hip-hop. No, Drake is doing this for Drake because he lost the battle. He doesn't know what to do, so this is what happens.
Bro, out of everything that I read, I was just like, it was one little part. UMG had wrote that it was like industry knowledge that Drake had a penchant, you know what I'm saying, for younger women. And I was just like, oh,
that's crazy. Yeah.
Oh, so there's no cap in that Kendrick rap. You know what I'm saying? So, for UMG to essentially air him out the same way, it was just like, yo, bro, like this is all on you. Like we're absolved, our hands are clean. We don't have nothing to do with this. You brought this upon yourself. So like that stood out to me, man. And I haven't heard any Drake stands. You know what I'm saying? I know you love.
I be tapped in.
I know you love arguing on the Bird app. You know what I'm saying?
I love having fun because it does something to me to have these dudes. They try to DM me and threaten me. I just be laughing like, yeah, pause for real. But they just really be mad, and I'm like, how are y'all not seeing this? But I even had academics. People send something, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. But I'm like, how do y'all not see this? This is hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like some crazy stuff is said, and the deal. Come out, make some music. Like Nokia is doing his thing. It's in the top 10. It's like number 8 right now. Like just make music, but he's making Not Like Us become possibly not only the most legendary disc, but maybe the most legendary song in hip hop history because he won't let it go because he got smacked up so much.
Name another song that's more historic than freaking Not Like Us. Like maybe Rapper's Delight.
Yeah,
because that was the first, first hip hop like mainstream song. Like, but other than that, Apache, nah. Like
Yeah.
Message, nah. Like they're like
Juicy, like
California Love. Like
yeah, California
I
Love.
can I can think of some legendary hip hop songs, but nothing has had the global impact as
Yeah.
Not Like Us. Nothing.
And then the times are perfect for it with social media, the Super Bowl, like everything fell into place. But it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with the judge because UMG is in a whole nother situation with I think it's Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit, and like that the same judge is over that case and he didn't dismiss that trial for like 200 million. But this is way different because this involves a rap battle. But let's keep it in the streets, man, because the streets we're talking. Got a
Still
kid from Watts, kid from South Central LA, just a certain section, and Big U and the federal RICO charges with these 60 Crips who were arrested, and it just blew a lot of people away because Big U has been doing so much, especially recently in the community. He has his son who is an NFL player there for the Chargers. We know his connection to Nip and all of that through the years. So we were like, okay, he's past that. To where maybe we were all wrong. Elan, what's your thoughts on this whole situation? Because it's crazy, man.
Man, like this indictment coming down, it reminded me of a season of The Wire, man, where it was just
Facts.
like all these cats are getting swept up, and you seeing corruption and involvement in so many different facets of the city. And I tell people all the time, man, like people think LA is all glitz and glamour. I'm like, if you peel back the mask, man, this is a real grimy city, like grimy. And with everything that has unfolded, is unfolding, I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. What surprises me is that people have been so willing to hop on the internet, on Instagram, on YouTube, and literally like snitch on themselves and their homeboys. You know what I'm saying? They're big homies, and you know, being a unk. You know what I'm saying? I'm officially unk status, but being an unk, I'm just like, man, what part of the game is that? Like, where do you like? What do you get out of hopping on the internet talking about X, Y, and Z for some little social clout, for some likes, for some viral moments? But in all of this, man, like I'm thinking about Dayon, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I shot him a text, like, hey, bro, I'm praying for you. You know what I'm saying? Let me know how I can help. It's just it's real crazy, man, because I know people involved. Like I know people who are from, you know what I'm saying, that hood. Like it's a ghost town right now. Anybody that was associated with you, they are out the way because they don't know who knows what, who's saying what, you know what I'm saying? And they weren't caught up in that first suite, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, well, maybe I'm good. But this is what I know about the feds, man. If they talking to you, they already got you, right? They already got you. And it's only a matter of time before you start hearing more people getting swept up in because somebody out of I think it was 20 people that got caught up.
I think 20, yeah.
You
somebody
know,
say something.
Somebody's gonna say something. Somebody's gonna implicate other
Somebody
people.
was walked in that room and they had pizza, chicken wings, some drink waiting for them, and they gonna make it.
Trap kitchen. They have some trap and
that part.
Listen, Monty getting caught up in that. That's what like blew me. I'm like, Monty from Trap Kitchen.
Crazy. Yeah, from Trap
like,
Kitchen.
wow.
But like you said just a bit earlier, the biggest thing I take away from this, it already works. If you do the crime, you do the time. That's what's gonna happen. But it's just these guys talking street politics on these podcasts, how they're talking to Vlad, how they're talking to Adam 22, how they go talk to academics. You guys are like dry snitching on others and yourselves.
It's not
even, it ain't even dry. Yeah, you're doing it on wax on stuff that don't go away. And it seems like guys like Adam 22, they're taking advantage of it. You know, they're seeing that these guys are really this dumb to come talk this. They're even egging it on. Let's talk about this. And these people are doing it. So hopefully the lesson learned from this situation is don't go on these pods and do all this crazy talk because it does not work in your behalf. These guys are damn near like the feds, and you're just making a fool of yourself.
It's a lot of people that think that one, if not both, or multiple people that are involved in like these pods are actually feds. They are actually employees of the FBI, and that wouldn't shock me. And the thing, you know, I gotta say is, you from the city, bro. You Damus, keyways, essays, like, you know, right? You don't. There's certain things you just don't say in public forums. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my bro. You know what I'm saying? Got into it with I don't even want to say got into it, but there's an internet face, an internet face, and they got into it on the public forum, and I hit him up like, man, you good? Like, what's the move? He's like, bro, don't worry about it. Like, it's good. Like, and just seeing how this internet celebrity moves, man. Like, he's not good in the city. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you talk about too. That's crazy.
He's not good in the city, but I got a boy that live in VA who's calling me up like, oh yeah, this person.
He running it, huh?
All right, man, he got LA going up, and I'm like, look, bro, if you knew how LA moves, like, nobody is above anything in LA, and nobody's above getting a DP. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is above. Like, it's some young cats that'll air you out, that will clip you for some clout in the streets. Like, be careful with how you move, and be careful on what you say about people.
And be careful on where you do it. And hopefully the lesson learned is, guys, stay off of social media. We already know the deal when it comes to hood politics. This stuff you don't say in front of your family because you don't want it to get out. You guys are going on podcasts and telling everything in front of guys that's not even from the culture. It's very idiotic. It's very crazy. And it may have, brought a downfall to a lot of members within, the 60s community. But, hey, Elam, it's been a fun one. We had a good time. I can't wait to be back next week. Remember, if you help us get to 1,000 subscribers, we will be out at the next marathon running, me and Elam and a whole other group. So make sure y'all do that. Follow us on socials. Mykell, the PG. You got my guy Elam Squared. Any final words, Elam, before we get up out of here?
Hey, man, be good. If you out in the streets, man, sooner or later, you got to square up, bro. L7, man. That's the way you get any type of longevity in the game, because, man, you're going to end up in one or two places, dead or in jail, man. So if you out in the streets, man, find your exit strategy. You got to square up eventually. L7, man. Until next week, we are the Misfits. I'm your guy, Eric Lambkins II. That's Mykell Mathieu, Mykell the PG. Follow us on socials. Until next week, we'll holler at you. Peace.
Peace.